or live.
Have y'all seen that JP guy on TikTok though?
JP, who?
That you ever made a bitty hit her knees?
No,
Well, guess what? I'm JP. Oh, he fire. He fire.
I'm not.
It's
I'm not hip at all.
very funny. Very funny stuff. You need to get on TikTok. You too unked out. You gotta like reduce your like if
I'm,
you don't take your unk
Got you
levels
too
down
drunk out.
immediately,
I'm
you
I'm
are
kind of falling off, man. I'm kind of
you.
falling
All I'm
off.
saying is this: if you don't reduce your unk levels immediately, you're at risk of early onset headset. And you know the exact headset I'm talking about, the big one that's like, bro, that look like a gaming headset. Why are you
Well,
wearing
look
that,
like
bro?
I drive trucks.
Exactly,
I don't think I
exactly.
ever be that unked out. That's egregious, bro.
I told somebody because like I was on the grill at my church, one of the events not too long ago, and they was
Oh,
like, that,
it was on the grill.
so funny story about how I got on the grill. Y'all ever seen the South Park episode where they were like, Token, play the bass. And Token was like,
Yeah.
I've never played the bass in my life. Like, what are
And
y'all
it was
talking about?
like, but
And
you,
they're like,
you
Token,
play, you
you're
gonna be
black.
good.
You know how to play the bass. Token, play the bass. The exact same thing happened at my church. There's like, Ken, we need you to grill. And I'm like, I've never grilled in my life, but I can put together all the kids' playscape because it was family and friends day. So I can
Yeah.
put together all the kids' stuff. I do handy stuff. Like I worked in maintenance. I can do all that, no problem. And they're like, okay, cool. That works out. And that was like a month beforehand. So I get there day of, and I'm like, what y'all need me to put together? And one of the mothers in the church handed me a spatula and said, the food. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna do the best I got. And it was me and three other men on the grill, and yeah, it was just one of those moments. Everybody said they liked the food, so you know, it worked out. It worked
Just
out, I
make sure
guess.
you, if it's a charcoal,
The
the
uncle's in
charcoal
your
is spray.
spirit.
Yeah.
Listen, they said he got a bald head and a big back. Brother can grill.
Only thing
Brother
you
can
gotta know is
grill.
the fire don't cook your food, the smoke does. A lot of people who barbecue for the first time put their food on the fire, and I know you done had barbecue that tastes, like smoky.
Yeah.
That's because they cook their food on the fire.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I mean, it's already over now. Like I did a good job. Everybody said, but it was just one of those moments. But fellas, we got a jam packed show. Okay, we
Yep, yep.
because it is Easter Sunday, also known as Resurrection Sunday, and so we're gonna get into a relationship topic of can a relationship be bought back from the dead? We'll get more into detail on that in just a minute. But the relationship with Justin Fields and the Bears, clearly, that thing was not on CPR, wasn't on life support. They done shipped that young man to the Steelers, along with my fellow NC State grad. I gotta show y'all this because not too many got two teams in the Elite Eight right now. Shout out to the women's team playing at this moment. We all about that block ass baby. But Russell Wilson headed to the Steelers with him, and we've got the early offseason winners and losers before the draft. Fellas, we got a full show today. Y'all ready to get into it?
I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir.
All righty, well, let's do it. What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the facts. Over at Axe Crew, we got the master, the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man to plan, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here, right here.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, Kenton Gibbs. Now, fellas, in terms of bringing back a dead relationship, I don't mean like you begging your shorty like, can we just have a good day, please? I mean the relationship is over. Do you believe in spinning the block? Do you think that there's such a thing as like, the second time around is gonna be better? Is it like, nah, once it's done, it's done. It's over. It's dead. Nothing to be said there.
So we are.
Also, I want to say this. Because I've recently heard that, and I'm not going to say who, but I've recently heard that some people's partners get upset about what we talk about on this show. And I just want to let everybody know we're just speaking on past things that we've been through or what we've seen our friends go through and do, not what we would necessarily do. Proceed, Josh.
Right, hypothetical situations.
Hypotheticals only, baby.
So
Hypotheticals
I
only.
will say when we talking about spinning the block, we talking about resparking an old flame and y'all just kicking it, or we are talking about trying to rekindle a relationship that's already like has gone its course.
I'll say the relationship has gone its course, but you trying to like respark the whole thing. Like there's not just like
Nah, nah.
it's good.
GG's. It's
It's good.
GG's
GG's.
forever.
Yeesh.
forever.
He said-
Hey, here's the thing. Okay,
Yeesh
so
in the chat, family.
there can be a situation to where some people are in a relationship, they're in love, they're long term, they're possibly even married, and they break apart for whatever reasons, and then they give it another try and it works out. That is something that's a possibility to happen. But I said it's possible. I didn't say it's probable. I said it's possible. Because I think the ratio of that happening is so low that it's not something worth exploring again. For example,
Normally,
like
you divorcing, it's something
it's
serious.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Like a divorce is a marriage is a commitment that y'all made, and then coming to it coming to divorce, like that's something that's a multi-month, maybe even years-long process.
Right.
In case anybody that's been listening to Facts Over X for 169 plus episodes and don't know yet, I was married at one point in time.
Well, I wasn't clapping up the divorce. I was clapping
Yeah.
up the
I mean, sure you can clap up for the divorce too.
Hey, but Dorian, go drink some. Clap it up for the divorce, y'all. Clap it up for the divorce. Clap it up for the
Go
divorce.
back and watch the first few episodes. My beard was patchy. I was stressed out. But
That man said she had him on the ropes. Had him going through it. But you were saying.
But you break up for a reason. You divorce for a reason. That's something it took my divorce 10 months to go all the way through. Going through the legal system, going through the courts. It was a 10-month long process. So if you're going through 10 months and you still like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go through this divorce, why 10 years later do you think these two people that are, adults are going to get back together and be like, yeah, we had all these problems that caused us to break this commitment in the first place, but we're going to go ahead and give it another try? Now, it's something that can happen. It has happened, but the likelihood of that working out is so far and few between. Like, you have so much room to grow as a person. That's like if one of y'all was cooking and you was like, man, I made this way and I touched this part of the pot and I burned my hand. And you had a blister on your hand. It took you all this time to rub creams and put some ice. And you finally got your hand looking back normal. And then 10 years later, you was like, remember that time I burned my hand? I wonder if the stove got the same effect that it did a decade ago.
That's an insane analogy, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Chris, what you thinking? Can spinning the block work? Is it?
To be honest with you, I spent the block on all my relationships, I believe. I think I broke up at least one time in every relationship I've been in.
See, but at the same time, you saying all your relationships and you 27?
Yeah, well, that's why I was getting at. That's
Like, how
what I
many
was-
serious relationships were you in?
That probably three. So
Okay.
let me get my point. Let me get my point across. So I hung out with a lot of wise older women when I was growing up. A lot of wise older women, right? And one of them told me, right, the reason why you stop dealing with somebody come back quicker the second time around you start dealing with somebody, right? So that being said, like, a lot of the relationships was me. I'm gonna own that. A lot of relationships that I've been in was me. I was the problem, and I
Taylor
always
Swift
used
said,
to.
boy, it's
I'm keeping it above. A lot of it was me, and then I didn't never think it was me back then. I've matured a lot since then, but a lot of it was me. So when I felt like I got better at some areas, it was like, let me go spin the block and then figure out. But then I started realizing, like, it wasn't all just me. It take two to tango, right? It take two to tango, and it was a little bit of them too, right? And it came out quicker. Like, instead of like a year,
Yeah.
the problem I hated about them, it came back like in 2 months the second time around, right? It came back like, dang, why was I with you? Like, our values don't even line up. None of this stuff even add up together, right? But here's a scenario I painted a picture for y'all, right? So most marriages, relationships end in two reasons mostly: infidelity, finances, or just like, not getting along for a long period of time. Like, you really didn't know that person when you got married to them. You rushed a relationship. That's the reason why most marriages die, right? If you have a financial,
parents got married 4 months after being together.
right.
said,
I know
oh,
a lot
they
of people
should've
like
moved.
that right now.
They
Actually, yeah.
Never mind. Proceed, Chris.
Yeah, but so here's the only category that I think you can come back from the dead on, right? Finances, right? You might have been down on your luck. everybody got that moment in life where they just down on their luck, they can't catch a break, right? And like that might have been the only reason why y'all did. Like y'all was the right two people. It just was bad timing, right? Something happens where you get situated better, and it's like, look, that person was everything I needed them to be. I just didn't have the finances right there, right? That's the one situation where I think you can spin the block and it be successful, because you can essentially get your finances in order and then tell them, hey, I got my finances in order now. That was the one thing that we just couldn't agree on, this, and that. Are you
Right.
still available? And if they still available, y'all can pick up right where y'all left off at. And have even more fun because now you got the financial burden off y'all.
I strongly disagree. I think the
Really?
only way you can spin the block is if it's like if it's finances, you always got that wonder in the back of your mind, like, if I go broke like Jock, JK, just playing young Jock.
Hey, man.
Hey, 42
that
was crazy.
That
He
was from
crazy
left
for that
field.
bar. He was so crazy for that bar. Like, why would you open up the song like that? Like, when he just barely passed the whistle before I go broke like Jock. But anyway.
Hey, I will say I got one rule in a relationship: never argue about finances.
Really?
Y'all can have a conversation. Y'all can have a conversation about it, but that's one thing that, like, money is something that I feel like if y'all had arguments about that, like, that's something that you not really gonna bounce back from. Like, those is conversations that's always gonna be in your head. Those conversations that, like, I feel like always gonna end up with somebody saying something that they don't really mean or something that you can't take back. You could maybe have an argument, but you gotta be very cordial when it come to having
And that's what I was just about to say. If you leave me because I'm broke, like, now it's in the back of my head, like, if I lose my job, shorty leaving next. Like,
because other stuff you can fix. Every other thing that you argue about is in your control. Finances is the one thing that, like, something can happen to where it's not. It could be completely out of your control.
Right. And I'm gonna say this. You can work it out if, like, y'all was disagreeing over, like, little stuff. And what do I mean by little stuff? Like, I'm messy and she's like a neat freak, or like, she always leave the cap off the toothpaste or something like that, or like when she get her car service, she'll never take me with her, so she always end up paying $150 for an oil change and getting everything rotated and realigned when we just did that a month ago. Like, it's annoying, and like in the right situation, like, you going through enough stuff that's not relationship related, and like all of that converges at once, it can absolutely cause a breakup that you can come back from, because y'all both get out there in the streets a little bit and y'all realize, like, oh no,
Yeah.
the dating pool is as bad as everybody say. Like, I'm gonna just stick with her. She's amazing.
Y'all can be arguing about dumb stuff though. If it's little stuff that can be fixed, yeah. But if y'all arguing because you don't like the way that person, like, eat their food, like, that mean you sick of them. That's irreparable.
You don't like that. Like, if it's something small like that, like, you really. I joke a lot about, oh, you really hate her, but like, a lot of people really do hate their spouses.
Hey, bro, every time I be thinking of some stuff in my head, I be hearing Giz's voice say, oh, you really hate her. Because, like, I be some stuff, I be like, bro, you about to trip about that. You about to trip about that. Giz got that in my head, but like, bro, you really hate her. It's like, no, I don't.
Listen,
Let me let that go.
And here's the thing, right? All three of us have been in love, or at least what we perceive as love before, correct?
What we perceived, yes.
Yeah.
When you have been in that with a shorty, is it not like the little stuff that she do that, like, another shorty did that would just piss you off to like no end? You're just like, oh my God, it's so cute. That's no big deal. Like, it's whatever. It don't even matter for real. I'm telling you, when that little stuff, when it's like, bro, she know I like opening doors. Why would she go through that door without me opening it? Like, you hate her. Like, you're tight.
Yeah.
You're really, bro, like, why does she laugh so hard? Like, I'm not that funny. You hate her. You hate that girl. You really hate her. And that's okay. That's all right. But I think that you can spin the block just in certain situations. Just it got to be the right situation. It got to be, you know, since we talking draft, it got to be the right scheme fit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, player, they got to develop into that upfield 3 technique that I was looking for. You can't, you know, the first time when we got together, you was a big nose plugging up the middle. I need a penetrator up there. You know what I mean? That's what I need. No Diddy, of course, but you know, you need what you need there. So, anywho, speaking of right fit, Chris, we're going to give you the floor because your Steelers, everybody said the team is perfect. They just need a QB. The team is perfect. They just need a QB. Not only did they go out and get one, they got two of them things. Super Bowl winner, Russell Wilson. And we got my man Fields in the bit, Justin Fields, as their as another piece in their QB room as well. Chris, how you feel about them Steelers, man? How you feel about that QB room?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. It's a shame that we're gonna lose probably Deontay Johnson, but I'm ecstatic. I am ecstatic. So let me tell you why. It really boils down to this. We have a different style of quarterback now. The Steelers have been without a mobile quarterback since they had Mike Vick as a backup, and he was like almost 40. So yeah. when I say it give us a different style, now we have something that Najee Harris can work with, right? You have to, if you guard an option against Russell Wilson or Justin Fields and Najee Harris, now Najee looks like, oh man, is this Derrick Henry Jr. for real? Because we've been waiting for Najee to move that needle, right? We've been waiting for him to take that next step.
Yeah.
Then we also got a speed demon running back as well, who can catch the ball. Now, the Steelers has always been a team where the quarterback doesn't have to win you the game. But now, to me, we picked up two quarterbacks that can win you the game. If Minkah Fitzpatrick go down with injury, TJ Watt go down with injury, we can win a shootout against a team, right? We can win a game where we have to score 40 points, right? A lot of the Steelers games be dog fights where you got to keep the team under 18, but we got to also score 18 without throwing the football, right? It's almost impossible to do. I think Russell Wilson puts a Band-Aid on a lot of our offensive struggles. I think he opens up the realm for our receivers to get more development, because I think a lot of our receivers are underrated because they haven't been able to develop. Freiermuth at tight end is just going to be a big, heavy target. We might see him turn the clock up to where a lesser version of himself, Jimmy Graham, in my opinion. But I think overall, the Steelers, hands down, either they go QB1 with Justin Fields or QB1 with Russell Wilson, are in a winning situation. I think Mike Tomlin finally gets his deep postseason run this year, regardless of what happens and who plays QB1.
Okay, all right, I understand that. I completely understand that. So let me ask you this. You say that a deep playoff run is to be expected. Okay, let's just say, for kicks and giggles, Justin Fields is your guy, or really either one. Either one is your guy.
That's what I'm saying, either one.
Either one is your guy, and they personally have a great season, but the Steelers are still 9-8, first round playoff exit. Does that change your mind about this move? Or are you still like, hey, they did their part? That's all that matters.
No, I think it doesn't change my mind. That was the right decision at the right time, and I'm always gonna agree with doing the right decision at the right time. You had Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph at quarterback. That trio, one of us three can go out there for a drive and maybe get one more completion than them, because they're not gonna get one. So
I'll tell you what, I watched Kenny Pickett play in the ACC for 4 years, and I told everybody he is not the goods. He is going to get a GM fired if he go to the wrong team. When Pittsburgh drafted him, I said, oh, he won't get a GM fired. Never mind. He'll just be gone in a few years. And looky here. Looky here.
But I think he landed on a gold mine going to the Eagles, though. I think he did. Because if you remember, the Eagles' backup quarterback was similar to Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, but the Eagles, here's the thing. It's not about the team fit for Kenny Pickett. I don't think Kenny has the talent to be an NFL quarterback. I just don't. I don't think he has the goods. I don't think he has the stuff necessary to be something special in the league. And I'm sorry, it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to. He's going to have to do something amazing for me to be like, oh, that's an actual NFL quarterback. Because right now, I told everybody when he was coming out of the draft, I said he was a 24-year-old playing against 18-year-olds, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. That is why he looked good his last year pick. Nobody wanted to believe me. Nobody wanted to believe me. They said I was a hater. On Locked On, for those of y'all who don't know, I have multiple sports podcasts. One of them is Locked On ACC. The Pitt fans called me everything but a good Christian. I mean, they was throwing out stuff. I said, I ain't heard that since. We got to look that up in the archives of slurs here. What is going on? And lo and behold, that's what it is. And notice I didn't say racial slurs. I'm not accusing Pitt fans of being racist. They were just assholes to me about Kenny Pickett, and they were wrong. Look who's vindicated. Who's vindicated. With that being said, Josh, Do you agree with Chris? Do you agree with his assessment that this is the right move at the right time? Does it not move the needle for you? Or are you like, they just set themselves back some?
I think we're right in the middle with it. I don't think that this is a move that necessarily moves the needle for the Steelers. Like, I don't think this is going to push them to the next level to where we're talking about the Steelers as contenders next year. But I do think this is a team that's going to end the season with a winning record. I think this is a team that has the potential to win a division. I don't see them winning the Super Bowl, but I can see them winning the division. And I think the most important piece right there that Chris said is this is going to give their receivers a chance to develop. Although I don't think they are going to have a all-world quarterback to give them the ball, they're going to have a serviceable quarterback. And I think when you have a good receiving core, you can make that you can develop them together. The quarterback will learn that receiving core, and you can feed them in their spots. And those receivers will get a lot more just in-game experience with touching the ball, period. Because there's a lot of periods in Pittsburgh season last year where you got receivers that's doing everything they can to get wide open, and they're just not getting the ball.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. I'll tell you what. I think that this moves the needle for the Pittsburgh Steelers immensely. And the AFC North, to me, after the developing news about Rasheed Rice out there in Kansas City, the AFC North is by far and away the toughest division in all of
even with the Chiefs' full strength, bro, they still are. Who else is in the?
Well, no. Here's
Chiefs that.
Well, here's why I say with the news coming out about Rasheed, because now it's tough for me to see a team in that conference winning a Super Bowl. Like, even with the Chiefs, as great as Mahomes is, you need a receiver one, and Travis Kelce ain't getting no younger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, his big brother, that's only a couple years older than him, just retired. They played together at Cincinnati, and he just retired. So, yeah. But with that being said, let's go here with this thing, okay? The reason that we're even talking about this move is because the Bears are committed to clearing the way for Caleb Williams. Now, I think that all three of us are smart enough. We know enough ball to know that's your QB1. That's your player number one in this draft, all that good stuff. But let me ask you this. Is Caleb Williams the best number one overall pick in the past 20 years? And mind you, we're just talking prospect coming out of college. What we saw in college, is he the best in the last... Actually, I'll stretch it out to 40. Is he the best in the last 40? And if he's not, tell me the players you'd have above him.
First of all, I want to say this by saying that Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears will be a disaster.
Josh, don't start. Please don't start. We got to do this again today, huh? We got to do this again.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Tell us why it's going to be a disaster, Josh. Tell us why it's going to be a disaster.
Okay. So,
as a matter of fact, I need a 2,000 word APA formatted with sources cited paper on this thing. Term paper due in 2 weeks as well. But for now, I'm gonna let you defend this ridiculous thesis with words. Proceed.
So I do want to preface this by saying, out of the quarterbacks that's supposed to go in that first round, I think that Caleb Williams is going to be the only one that's going to be a good NFL quarterback. I don't think anybody. I think the first 5 picks are projected to all be quarterbacks. You got Jaden Daniels, Drake May, McCarthy, and then who was the other one they were talking about possibly going top 5? I don't recall at the moment, but I do. Penix, Michael Penix.
At least 2 of those guys are gonna get coach GM's fired. By the way,
agreed.
At least 2 of them.
But what was USC's biggest issue last year?
Oh, their defense. That defense was terrible. They was allowing like damn near 40 a game.
I'm on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, defense impacts offense, but on the offensive side of the ball.
They didn't have a wide receiver 1, and Caleb was holding on to the ball too long because of that, playing too much hero ball. Those 2 would probably be
okay.
The biggest problems.
And if you got a quarterback that plays hero ball, you would need a very good offensive line, especially in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Which doesn't do. who are these elite receivers and tight ends that the Bears got that Caleb is going to be throwing the ball to as weapons?
Well, you got DJ Moore.
What?
Got,
DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Mooney. I don't know if Mooney is still there. I think he.
I'll give you DJ Moore.
You don't think Cole Kmet? Hey.
I'll give you DJ Moore.
You watch that.
Kmet is a solidified wide receiver 2 or 3, depending.
And then you're also
that's bro. Cole Kmet is one of the best tight ends in this thing right now.
And then you're also looking at a Bears offensive line that I still think's vast improvement.
I agree. The offensive line is mid, and so is DeAndre Swift. You got me. I give you both
right.
of those.
And you're talking about a quarterback who got sacked 33 times last year in 12 games.
Yeah.
The Bears aren't going to give him any better protection than he received in college.
I agree, but also they'll have a true number 1 receiver.
You got to give him You got to give him time to give him the ball.
Let me tell you something.
You got 5 weapons that he could throw to, and 2 of them are good.
They are going to have to build around him. There's a reason that obviously the number 1 pick actually belongs to the Panthers, but their next pick is number 9 or something like that. There's a reason they have a top pick. Let's make no bones about that. Let's not pretend like this is a world beat team.
And this Bears front office has shown us when that they can put together a good offense, because the Bears have had the most mid offense in the NFL for the past 40 years.
You're not wrong. But again, this is a brand new front office. They're brand new. You know, we can't go by the past. If we were going by the past, the Lions would have been the same old Lions last year.
And they have been besides 1 year. What is your famous quote that you always say on the show?
The greatest predictor of future behaviors is the past.
Okay, and we've seen that a culture shift needs to happen in a team in order for anything to change. We might talk about the NBA later on, and what's the reason that the Clippers are not good? Because the Clippers have changed ownership, they have changed general managers, they have changed coaches multiple times since we've started this show.
You can try to change, but that's just the top layer. Homie,
You was before you got there.
You got there. That's the Clippers are different. They the one exception to the rule. Every rule got an exception, and the Clippers are the one exception.
Okay, so my thing is,
at least back in '85, the Bears had the Super Bowl shuffle. They had William Refrigerator Bear and Sweetness and all them.
With a terrible offense, they had a good running back. Mm-hmm. Who's the best receiver in Bears history? Musa Muhammad? But yeah, who's the best quarterback in Bears history? Rex Grossman?
So that was my point. Jake
that
Cutler
be
probably.
McMahon or Cutler?
Yeah.
It's Cutler. It's Jake Cutler. That was my point, guy. You leading to my point now. I think Caleb Williams is the right pick for the Bears, and they're about 4 or 5 years before they can play winning football, though. And the reason why is the best quarterback in franchise history is Jay Cutler. That tells me enough right there. That tells me that you don't know how to develop a quarterback, you don't know how to protect a quarterback, and you also don't know how to keep a quarterback-friendly team. You don't.
Let me tell you something. It is 2024. If you don't know how to keep a quarterback-friendly team now, you're not going to win many ball games.
Exactly.
It'll be bad.
Yeah.
It'll be real bad.
To be honest, I don't think Caleb is that much different skill-wise from Justin Fields.
Hey, y'all finna make me act how Unc was. You know, Chill Town 32. When they
I know how good Tim Duncan was. This is somebody we have not seen yet, and we're talking about possibly the best number 1 prospect of all time, who finished the year with 8 wins.
Okay.
It wasn't top 10 in passing yards.
What quarterback? And I'm a. Football is a team sport, a lot like basketball.
Yes.
It's even worse because in football, you have no control over what the other side does. What quarterback could have a defense that there are 100 and I believe 13 or 18 FBS football teams? USC's defense before the bowl game was 108th. In points allowed. So basically, if your team had USC on the schedule, congratulations, you just win the brothel with $1 billion. Everybody gonna score. Everybody gonna. And you're telling me that was Caleb's fault? Listen,
I'm not saying it's his fault, but at the same time, when are we going to get to see this elite skill set at the next level as a part of the Chicago Bears?
he won a Heisman, for Christ's sake.
Okay, it's been plenty of Heisman. Baker Mayfield won a Heisman.
Baker Mayfield won a Heisman throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb and Hollywood Brown. He did not win a Heisman throwing it to guys that won't be eligible for the NFL draft for another 3 years. His only player that I do think will play in the league from that last team ain't going to be eligible for the draft for 3 years. Everybody else, 2 tons of buns. You ain't going to hear about it no more. He did a Cam Newton-style backpacking job. The only difference is Cam Newton had a good defense at Auburn. They had Nick Fairley and company on that other side of the ball getting things rolling. It wasn't like it was. Let me tell you something. That defense could not stop a runny nose with Robitussin, breathe right strips, and the cure to COVID. You understand? Like, what do we do? You know what?
So give us your take on Caleb then, Gibbs. Give us your take. I ain't gotta say too much. I think Caleb's the right
Y'all
pick,
know me.
the right guy for the Bears. The Chicago went behind him. He gonna start a culture change, but it's up to the Bears at this point. It's up to they got the talent now. It's up to the Bears.
Y'all know me, and y'all know I don't throw this word around lightly. Caleb Williams is generational. He's a future Hall of Famer. If he does not make the Hall of Fame, I am going to be looking at the people that surrounded him with a really funny eye. And I can tell you this because there was a quarterback who I don't think had a similar skill set, nor do I think he was on a similar talent level, but I think there was a quarterback that was close, and Kyler Murray. And when Cliff Kingsbury got the job in Arizona, this is a factual statement that Chris will tell you because everybody knows I have never liked Cliff Kingsbury. The day Cliff got the job, I said he is going to ruin Kyler Murray and Kyler's going to take the blame.
Yep.
So I do agree with y'all that the situation and system could be that bad to where Caleb ends up not being all those things. But that young man he's, in terms of prospect, he's a better version of Mahomes. And I mean that with everything.
That's insane.
Hold on.
That's insane.
I
asked you one question, Gibbs.
I did not say in terms of player. I'm saying in terms of prospect.
Hold on.
When Pat Mahomes was coming out, they said he had a big arm and he didn't know how to make the reads, but he could make every throw. He had these weird release angles and he was fairly mobile. Caleb Williams is all those things with a Gucci belt. He's all of those things with a Gucci. He knows what Pat Mahomes didn't know what cover 6 was or how to identify when he got to the NFL. Caleb Williams can. He can. And he can make every throw that Pat can make.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the same player. I strongly disagree with that. I'm saying Caleb can be at that level if he gets to the right system. Because let's just be honest.
Let me ask one
for
question.
as great as Pat Mahomes is, if he didn't link up with Andy Reid, if he was born to where he would have been drafted by the Lions in 2003, Pat Mahomes flames out of the league in like 4 years. But he got with Andy Reid.
I don't know. Pat Mahomes and Calvin Johnson.
But like I said, if he would have got to Steve Mariucci, he would have been gone before Calvin got there. Calvin got drafted, what, 08, 07?
That's what, but he would have.
They would have been gone. Was Joey
Mahomes
Harrington
and Calvin?
Was Joey Harrington Calvin Johnson's quarterback? Joey Harrington got to the Lions
half a
with Steve
season,
Mariucci.
wasn't it?
He never did. John Kitna
he didn't
was
make
his
it.
quarterback.
It was John Kitna, wasn't it?
It was John Kitna, Dante Culpepper, and Dan Orlovsky. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If Pat was with a different system, he could have very well been something else. But he got in the right situation. So I do agree with y'all that in terms of situation, things could go wrong with the Bears. I don't disagree with that at all. But what I'm saying is, in terms of talent and in terms of like watching the film and breaking this down, I have never, actually, let me not say that. I have only been more sure about a prospect one time and one time ever. And that one prospect that I knew straight up from the gate up, he's going to be everything he wants to be, is Calvin Johnson. That's it. Like those are the only. Caleb is up there. He's up there for me. I don't see, and again, that is like the combination of the off-field stuff too. Because like all of his off-field stuff, he doesn't have real off-field problems. Like real off-field problems, he can't stop doing the drugs. He can't stop beating on women. He can't stop. He misses practices. He's missing this, missing that. He doesn't show up. Caleb has none of those problems. He paints his nails and he wears a dress here and there. Who cares? When you are in that locker room, and I'm not going out the young man, but one of the best players I ever played with, he likes men. He's still one of the best players I ever played with. He's still on the record books for a school that I attended in terms of top 5 at what he did. So I don't think that anybody's going to have a problem with Caleb being himself and doing things how he does it. And also, he's 21. So even some of those rough around the edges things about his personality, they'll level out. They'll start to, over the next couple of years. But that's my take on Caleb. I think we've never seen anything like him, so people can't really comprehend what we're seeing.
I'm going to ask one question to you, Gibbs. I'm going to ask one question to you, right?
Go for it.
Before this quarterback got for the team, just answer this question with your thought process. And I know you remember because you remember everything. Your thought process before C.J. Stroud got to the Texans. What was your thought process?
I thought that C.J. Stroud was a good quarterback, but I just thought the Texans didn't have the horses in the stable to put him in a good situation to succeed.
Okay. Do you see Caleb doing? I remember you saying it. That's why I brought this up. Do you see Caleb doing what C.J. Stroud doing his rookie year?
I could see it, but I could also see him being worse than that. I could see it, but I could see him being worse. Because C.J. Stroud, I hate to say it, because people y'all gonna think I'm like making revisionist history just to make Caleb look good. C.J. Stroud had a really good situation, a sneaky good situation that nobody realized how good it was. Like, Nico Collins was always a good receiver. He never had a quarterback to get him the ball.
No. Hold on.
Tank Dell was one of the best.
He had Deshaun Watson there for a minute.
When Nico got there, he had Deshaun for a year, and then the next year was the year that Deshaun was done. He had Deshaun for his rookie year, and that's it.
But he had Deshaun. He didn't impress us when he had Deshaun. When Deshaun was at his peak. Sometimes
it takes time for players to break out. And Nico showed that he's a baller, and you had Tank Dell, and you had all these other guys coming along with him that you just like, wait.
And Caleb receiving core is better. So that's why I'm asking you a question. Do you see him doing what C.J. Stroud did this year?
But here's the difference. The Bears have a defensive head coach in DeMeco Ryans, and not only did the Houston Texans kind of pushed the chips to the middle in terms of like, we want to win right now. We know who our guys are right now. They sacrificed this year's draft pick in the first round to get Will Anderson they got Will Anderson. Then they pushed all their chips in the middle and said, we want Stroud as well to make sure that they got what they wanted. It was Stroud, then Anderson. But yeah, they pushed their chips to the middle to say, we know our guys and we going to get them. Will Anderson was a very impactful rookie. He was one of the best rookie defenders in the league. And so, could I see the Bears having that team success? No. Could I see Caleb having the level of success that Stroud did individually? Yeah, I can see that. For sure.
Okay. We heard it on first.
We will see.
We're going to revisit this.
In the words of El DeBarge, or the DeBarge family rather, time will reveal. We're going to see in short order.
So, my question real quick for y'all is, Caleb Williams go number 1. We know he going number 1.
Right.
They say quarterback's supposed to go 1 through 5. Who are y'all taking if y'all got number 2?
Here's the thing. I know Chris gonna say I'm biased, and I know that, everybody knows that I hate the Dirty Foot Club as much as the next man. But they refer themselves as the Tar Heels, but it's literally just the Dirty Foot with a gross mascot. I believe that Drake May is the second best player in this draft, and I think that if you got the opportunity to get him, if Caleb ain't on the board,
y'all think so?
I think Drake May is like that. I think he like that. I think he like that.
And here's the thing. When you draft, especially in today's NFL, you have to draft with the understanding that I may take a player in the top. Yeah, it's gonna take time. I may take a player in the top 10, and it may take them some time to develop. And I understand that most people had this thought like, no, if I draft you number 1, you need to be great right now. Pat Mahomes got drafted at 10. He sat behind Alex Smith and then went to 6 straight.
Let's pause on that.
absolutely.
People don't realize how good of a situation Pat Mahomes walked
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
People don't realize that. Like, he came from Texas Tech, right? Alex Smith was a serviceable quarterback, right? That had injury problems.
Yep.
Andy Reid is a wizard. He had Alex Smith leading the league in passing top 5 in passing.
He was top 5. Yeah, he was top 5 and 10.
Top 5.
He was sure not.
With a defense that was, you couldn't name 3 players on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pat Mahomes got to sit there and work with Andy Reid for a whole year and get some game reps when Alex Smith was injured. And they had the money to build the defense out, and they had a young enough offense where it peaked right when Mahomes got the football.
And the offense was dirt cheap. The offense was dirt
cheap.
They drafted some 4th round receiver who had off the field problems because Tyreek Hill actually he got those problems where you like, hey bro, you might not be in the league too long. You keep this up,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna end up on TMZ and be out the league, and yet he turns into Cheetah, one of the best deep threats the game has ever seen.
Like people don't realize that offense probably was the cheapest offense in the league, and they had Kelsey and Tyreek Hill on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you ain't getting no argument here. You are not getting
That Mahomes situation was like God was like, he's one of my favorites. Like he was one of my favorites, bro.
Bro said he's done miracles on me. Absolutely. But I'll tell you this: if I had to draft one of those quarterbacks next, I would go ahead and draft. I would go ahead and draft Drake May.
Well, Washington at number 2, right?
Yeah.
You kind of got to take a quarterback.
But and here's the thing. I know Washington is tired of drafting all those defensive linemen because you got rid of Chase Young.
I was going to say Jared Verse, the second best player in this draft.
I'm gonna tell you this. I like Jared Verse a lot, and I also love that DN from UCLA. Ooh, the more of his film I watch, listen. Y'all got to go ahead and throw me a horny jail. Watching him pass rush is sexy. His hand movement and his explosion off that. It gets me there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You sound like the Stephen A. If that brother just had a few more inches.
Let me tell you something. Here's the thing. He's long. He's athletic. He can bend, and his explosion is like it's like we haven't seen that type of explosion since Von Miller. I tell you, if I was a defensive coordinator and they said, "Kid, you got the number 8-9 pick," I swear to God, that would be the quickest sent-in pick you have ever seen in the history of the NFL draft. But I digress. Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, and to give the backstory, y'all, Gibbs is a defensive lineman from the NC State Wolfpack. He played almost all 4 years at NC State, right? Except the years you got hurt. And that's why he really, really knows his defensive lineman, just to give y'all the backstory for some new listeners. But anyway, I say this. For the Commanders, I don't, call me crazy, I don't think Sam Howell was that terrible where you have to draft a quarterback this year. Like, with the quarterback, you're still going to be bad. And you in a division with the Eagles, the Cowboys, and you in a division where you're not going to win it. I don't think you have to draft a quarterback. Sam Howell's serviceable enough to play one more year, and you still get a good pick next year. I mean, he could get your receivers involved. You see where you have your receivers and offensive line, but I don't think Sam Howell was bad enough where you have to draft a quarterback. I mean, he's still young too.
Yeah.
You know, and here's my biggest thing about the idea that you have to draft a quarterback. I'm a big believer in draft the best guy, unless you are that one piece away. And to me, the Commanders are multiple pieces away. Even if you had that quarterback tomorrow, you are still still
with the Cowboys and Eagles in your division, you're not gonna win the division.
And that's why if I was them, I'd be looking at Verse or Liatu Latu. That's his name. That's the young man's from UCLA's name. I'd be looking at either one of them. But if I had to take one of those quarterbacks, give me Drake. Man. You know.
Yeah, it definitely
In
ain't
the words
JJ
of every
McCarthy. They
person
trying
who
to
hates-
push this.
Oh, go ahead.
They trying to push this JJ McCarthy. If you draft him, oh my
He's-
goodness.
Cooked.
Mark my words. Mark my words. And I know everybody's gonna get mad at me for saying this. And if I end up on Old Texas Pros, I'll eat my crow. JJ McCarthy is going to get a GM fired. He is going to get a GM fired. I am willing to bet my unborn child's middle name on this. If my middle child, if he turns out to be super successful in the league, he lights it on fire. That first child there's a tradition in my family with first names that we gotta honor, but that middle name will be JJ. I am guaranteeing that based on like
I agree.
I've seen enough to know like you couldn't.
Did y'all
beat
see them-
Maryland's defense? You couldn't beat the Terrapins. What? Stop playing.
Did y'all see the pro day? The glaze he got for pro day, bro. Oh my god! I think the
And
Chargers
they
gonna
do
draft
this-
him at this point.
And they do it every year. Let me tell you something.
It just hurt me that the token mid-white quarterback for this NFL draft is from Michigan because it's one every year, bro.
If Harbaugh, I heard there's some quote unquote rumors going around, and these are not real serious people spreading these rumors that Harbaugh wants McCarthy so bad he'll get rid of Herbert. I am telling you this right now. Everybody would be fired except the owner. And I mean that owner would be Ron Haas and release papers like Oprah did with cars back in the day. You get a pink slip. You get a pink slip.
Hey, giving up Herbert to get McCarthy is insane work.
That owner would
Insane work.
Shit, that owner would have that meeting where everybody come in and it's just them, HR, and a bunch of Cobra worksheets in front of them. Hey, listen, we gonna take care of y'all insurance for the next 6 months through Cobra.
Hey, them drafted JJ get rid of Herbert after getting rid of Keenan Allen, who got the greatest hands in the league, in my opinion. It's like setting JJ McCarthy up to be a salesman after his career. It's like he gonna be talking football.
He finna be on them Big Bob commercials.
And who's gonna be your wide receiver one? Is it the young man who said he was retiring his mother from TCU, and now everybody making jokes that she better update her LinkedIn? is it Quentin? Is it Quentin? Is that Quentin Johnston?
They don't got Keenan no more. So.
That boy couldn't catch a cold standing butt naked in Alaska, and you want to? He could be standing on top of the icebox where Omarion Hart used to be on the coldest day in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, and that boy still couldn't catch a damn cold.
I say this. I would trade Herbert if you really feel that strongly about him. Get everything you can now, because y'all ain't gonna do nothing next season. Yeah.
Like I said, I have a prediction that if he goes in the top 5, somebody getting fired. If a team
He ain't sniffing the top 5. He not sniffing. If he sniffs top 5, I'm cutting the draft off.
If a team trades a Justin Herbert level quarterback for him,
The Chargers at 5, he going top 5. He going top 5.
No way the Chargers draft him at 5.
It's no way the Chargers draft him. It's no way the Chargers.
I'm gonna say something crazy. It's a chance the Vikings might take McCarthy
Oh, at 3rd?
at 4.
Oh, who's who before the Vikings?
The Patriots got number 3,
Oh yeah.
and the Patriots taking Drake May.
You know what? I'll say this. Minnesota Vikings front office, I know that you all are good fans of this show. JJ McCarthy and the slander that we've been talking, we are paid bad actors, okay? We are paid by big Ohio State lobby to you saw how we were talking about CJ Stroud earlier. We're paid,
Yeah.
You saw how we were talking about Justin Fields earlier. We're paid Ohio State lobbyists. Vikings, draft JJ McCarthy. He will save your franchise. And not only will no one get fired, the owner is going to look at you, Mr. GM. He's going to look you dead in the eye, and he's going to say, you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. It's coming. Draft JJ McCarthy. Vikings.
Hey,
Draft him.
I buy the free Justin Jefferson shirt first time I can. Oh, y'all think Kyle Pitts is in hell? Oh my God, Justin Jefferson he's in Minnesota, freezing waiting on that football, freezing wait. At least Kyle Pitts in Atlanta where it's hot. Oh my.
Listen, I kid you not. I kid you not. If the Vikings were to draft JJ McCarthy, I would get more hype for that pick than I've ever been for a Lions pick. And like I told y'all, the prospect I've been most high on in my life was Calvin Johnson. I would be more hyped to see the Vikings draft him at 4 than I would be to see the Lions get Calvin Johnson. I'm being honest. I swear for Lord. I swear for Lord and two white men. I would be right there screaming.
Because you got to worry about them Packers already. You check out the Vikings, it's like Lions could coach for the next 5 years.
Listen, I'll be playing that Kanye. He's done miracles on me for 3 days straight. 3 days. Never gave up on, never back on y'all. Listen, because he's done miracles if they make a move that foolish. But with that in mind, we got a little bit of time left. So let me ask y'all this. Let's just say we know Caleb Williams is going number 1. Where would you rank him? Past 20, or just tell me the ones you think are better. Because here's the thing. I like Caleb Williams a lot, but I'm gonna start off because I know that it made it sound like I've never seen a player better than Caleb Williams. I think Cam Newton was a better prospect than him coming out because
That was gonna be mine.
He carried that Auburn team. That, by the way, they had one guard playing one NFL game. That was the only offensive player to ever play in that NFL game from there. And that running back that they had, Michael Dyer, he transferred to Louisville. I played against him in real life. Michael Dyer wasn't it. Like the Michael Dyer that I played, I was like, oh, he's all right. Like, he's nothing.
All right, so we're going at a pass. How many picks?
You can go to last 40.
Last 40?
Yeah. I'd say I would definitely say that Cam Newton is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And the next one, actually, no, I wouldn't even give it to him. It's
honestly the only two that like I remember in my lifetime that I was 100% sure like at the next level they gonna be like that is Cam Newton and Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Yeah, Miles was gonna be Kyler if Kyler had got a better situation. Like if Kyler would have went to the Texans, I think there would have been he would have been CJ Stroud 2.0. Like honestly, Kyler had the talent, Kyler had the ability. He just got put on a terrible situation. I think his best receiver at his first year was it Larry Fitzgerald still there?
Yeah, Larry was still there.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was almost 40, wasn't he?
Yep.
That was his best receiver. And the year that he got DeAndre Hopkins, they threw the ball to him maybe 20 times. Yeah. Maybe 20 times.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
Which is insane.
Okay, all right. So wait, who would you have ahead of him, Chris?
I would put Cam and Kyler and maybe Stafford Only reason why is because I think Stafford just didn't polish his game the way Mahomes did. And if Stafford would have, I think he would have probably had way more success. And he got drafted to the Lions. I mean, come on now. I know I got a Lions hoodie on today just because it's draft day, Detroit day. But, I mean.
No, man, we don't want you back.
I'm not.
We don't want you back.
I'm a Steelers guy. Listen, I'm a Steelers guy. I don't want to be on the Lions.
Chris on his own. I mean, Josh on his own. Okay, with that no new friends mentality. We are
no new friends.
Team. Jump on the bandwagon. Come on back, Chris. Let me tell you something.
I'm a Steelers.
Hey, I felt the same way about that rumored song that didn't make it. Did y'all hear Pac-Man and Rio supposed to be on the song with Drake?
Oh, well, that just made me less excited because Drake be dropping mid now.
But my thing is, we know that like he a style biter, and I like the gatekeep Detroit style. I don't want a whole Drake album and him doing a Detroit flow.
Drake doing Spice Talk would be like the nastiest work I've ever heard. Because he gonna say something weird, bro. He gonna say something weird. Like this the same man that said high school pics, you was even bad then. Bro, you talking about a 15-year-old. Why would you say that out loud? Aubrey, what's wrong with you? But no, I listen. I get where you going. Chris, we gonna welcome you back with open arms. Come on, Chris. Come on. We know you've been tired of being left out there in the cold with them Steelers. We know.
I'm good, man.
Listen.
We love
Josh and me, Josh and me want to support a black head coach too. You know, Mike Tomlin's my frat brother. You see the Canes back there. You know, we love the Brown. We love Mike Tomlin, man. We love him. But come on home, Chris. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. You know, the prodigal son, when he came back, the pops didn't give him no lashes for coming back. He just loved on his boy and said, "Oh my God, my son is home. My son."
You said I could be Meech every time he came back from Atlanta. I could be Meech. My mama still love me.
Exactly.
Knowing how to put some people in the dirt.
Mama still love you. She love you more than cheating broke Charles. Mama still love you. Come on back, Chris. So you know, and we're gonna end it with this note here, fellas. Give me some off-season winners for this off-season pre-draft. Who you looking at that you like, hey, they doing their big one. They doing what they got to do right
Can
now.
I go first?
Go ahead.
I think the Lions hit the lottery because Cam Sutton can't control his drinking. I think the Lions they won the offseason alone because he exited himself out the equation and they was going to have to give him some money. I think the Lions are absolutely winning this offseason because I ain't gonna lie to you. I think some YouTubers right now that do drills on YouTube can cook Cam Sutton. I think if Pros versus Joes came back, Cam Sutton would be the exception to the rule that he could get cooked. He could get cooked.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna tell you this. I hope that Cam Sutton recovers. I don't know what's going on with him. Last I heard, he was still on the run or something along those lines. I hope that he gets the help that he needs, but I hope that help that he needs is also not inside the Lions facility. I hope it is nowhere near the Lions facility. I hope it's nowhere near Ford Field. I hope it's nowhere near their practice facility in Allen Park. I hope it's not anywhere in that vicinity.
Also, I will say right now, if you got that Lions first round pick, who you taking?
The Lions first round pick is what, 27, 28?
27.
Okay, so Latu's gonna be gone.
I'm taking Kool-Aid.
Gonna be gone. Really, I can see it.
I'm taking Kool-Aid.
Him and that other corner, but I don't think Kool-Aid gonna be there.
You don't think so?
I think the other corner for Bama gonna be there. I think Kool-Aid gonna be gone, but the other corner for Bama gonna be there. I think
Okay.
he'll be there.
I'll take either one of them.
That pick. I wouldn't mind that pick. I wouldn't mind it. What I would really like to see out of this team, all I need from the Lions, and this is, listen, hear me out. Let's look toward the future. I know that we in win now mode, but we set up in a way, we gonna need to replenish that offensive line pretty soon. And Cooper Beebe from Kansas State, that's a bad
You don't think we can get him in round 2?
That's a bad. No, Cooper not gonna be there around.
No, he ain't gonna
That
be
boy
there.
was a 3-time All-American.
Yeah.
A 3-time All-American who was in the Pop-Tarts Bowl and he actually played. Do you know how insane that is?
Yeah. That's Lions culture right there.
He's one of them ones.
Yeah.
And I watched. And here's the thing: I watched his last ever college game in person. They played NC State in the Pop-Tart Bowl. I was at that game in Orlando, Florida. When I tell you that boy was throwing folks out the club so tough, I oh my God. Oh my God. Like, if he rolling with the president, ain't nobody getting shot that day. I'm just, RIP to JFK, but if Cooper was with you, I'm just saying, 'cause that young man was throwing people up out the club, 24/7. So
Yeah,
that's what I like to see the Lions do.
I don't think that Kool-Aid gonna be there, but I don't know, bro. I think Latu gonna be there. I think he
might
is.
be there. Latu might be there. If
and
Latu
if
is
not-
there, hey, if you put him and Hutch on the same defensive line,
Ooh-wee.
If not him though, I would go Darius Robinson though. Darius Robinson.
okay.
Okay, so top 3 that we should be looking at. We should be looking at Latu, Kool-Aid, and Cooper.
I would say that's a good 3. That's a good
Okay.
3. If we could get any one of those 3, on God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be geeked up.
I don't think Cooper. I think Cooper gonna get drafted a lot earlier than people think though. I don't
Cooper,
think.
yeah, he probably will.
Let me see.
He's not, because the thing is, guards are not a sexy pick, and people don't think of guards like that. But NFL GMs know if you want to win,
Well,
you
if you-
build from the inside out. That's
No,
how you gotta do it.
I looked back at the last time we had this much quarterback movement in the NFL. A lot of teams drafted offensive tackles, offensive linemen in the first round. When we had
Okay, so actually, my bad. The Lions got the 29th pick. looking at this mock draft, Latu is not projected to go until number 27, and Cooper is not projected to go in the first round.
Listen, Brad Holmes. There are 3 moves that I need you to make. If this is Marvel What If, and this is the world, the universe that we live in, number 1, call that kicker that just hit a 64-yarder. Call that.
Hey, but we
right
need a
now.
kicker bad.
Right, and it's a kicker on Michigan's UFL team that just hit a 64-yarder. Call that brother. Do not let him leave Ford Field without a contract. I don't care. Bro, lock the doors of Ford Field and tell him, I like you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, but you're going to sign on this dotted line. Number 2, draft Latu with that number 1, the top pick we got. Number 3, you better trade your ass back up in that second round to go get Cooper. Because when I tell you Cooper is a role grader supreme, that brother, he can, listen, the furniture be moving if he in the living room, okay? That's just who he is. He a bad brother. So, that's just my thoughts. But that's just what I'm hoping. So, yeah, that's for sure what we got going on. And then last thing, I'm sorry, I know I said last thing already, but one more thing. Do y'all like the NFL moving around the draft or no? Would y'all like to see it stay in Radio City Music Hall in New York? What y'all thinking?
I'm cool with it moving around, just, have people get excited for it, fill up the stands, try to turn it into some kind of event. I feel like this might be some more things they need to put around it in order to build up the hype, especially since that's the only time football is ever really associated with like warm weather nationwide. So I feel like you might have to put some more events around it, but I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, for sure. Chris, what you thinking? You like it? You want to stay in one place?
I love it. I mean, you know me, I'm a dollars and cents guy. Anytime you have a draft somewhere, you're going to bring revenue there. Sponsors, corporate sponsors. This so happened is in our hometown, Detroit, Michigan. So, we can get all the money we can get Detroit after Coleman and Young and Kwame Kilpatrick took a lot of it. But I'm going to just say, like.
Bro, people used to tell me all the time, like the teachers who went to Cavs, like, you remind me so much of Kwame Kilpatrick. What do you mean by that?
But what he going through his thing though when we was in high school, wasn't it?
Exactly. What
do you
mean by that? Like
that's
like
pretty insane. That's pretty
insane.
insane.
Bro? Like,
wow.
What's
that's
going
pretty
on
nuts,
here?
Giz. What was you doing in high school, Giz? What do you mean by that?
I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? I was just out there doing my thing.
I was in Simon class with you.
Again, all of these allegations are false. Mr. Allen is telling tall tales that cannot be proven. There is no video or picture evidence of me being in. I don't even know Simon. I ain't play Simon Says. I never liked. What's that show? What's the show that used to have Simon Cowell on it?
American Idol.
I never even liked. See, if it got Simon to do with it, I ain't got nothing to do with it. So, I don't know who this Mr. Simon is. I don't know no NATO Jenkins. I don't know nothing about that. I know y'all tired of us talking about the draft and NATO and Simon. But come on back next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.